Hi, welcome to my video called Simple Steps to Step It Up. My name is Karen Slewinski. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Northeast Ohio. I'm going to teach you how to make a very basic card tonight, and then some ways that you can simply step it up a notch and make it look even better. I'm going to be using the Forever Blossom stamp set. This has got lovely cherry blossoms on here. I really like this set. And so we're going to start out. This is that large blossom. And tonight I'm going to be using basic gray. Now a lot of times you see people stamp with black, but you don't always have to stamp with black. You can stamp with other colors. So I have just a piece of Whisper White, and I'm going to ink up my stamp. Now sometimes it's easier to just turn your stamp pad over and ink this way. So this might be easier on your hands than trying to manage that big stamp pad upside down. And we are just simply going to press this on here, hold it for a moment, let the ink absorb into the paper, and lift it up. And there you have your image. So then we are going to take this and we are going to mat it on a piece of petal pink paper. So you don't need very much glue, just a little bit around the edges. And we're going to put that right in the middle of a rectangle. So it really doesn't matter what size rectangle you use. Just pick something that's going to complement your stamp, and then do your mat in the paper just a 1/4 inch larger. We're going to take a piece of Whisper White. This is a half sheet of paper, and I have just cut it in half, and then I'm just going to crease it. I'm going to get my bone folder out here. And then I have just a little strip of Whisper White for my sentiment. So I'm going to ink that sentiment up, and let me move this. So I'm going to, oh, that was pretty good. And clean that off. And then I am going to bring in my little trimmer, and I am just going to trim this down in size. And I have a sentiment. So if I were to take my card, and if I were to put my stamped image there, and my greeting right here, or here, wherever you would like it, that would be a very lovely card. But we can do some things to step it up just a little bit. So if we wanted to add a splash of color, I'm going to close my ink pad here since we're done with that. I have some alcohol blends. Now I really love alcohol blends. They are wonderful for coloring, and they're quick and they're easy. So each pen has a fine tip and a brush tip. So I am just simply going to splash some color on here. And I've got some of the darker, and I'm very quickly just adding some color. And then I'm going to take my lighter one, and I'm going to use the finer tip, and I am just going to kind of blend that out as the name implies, so you're not going to get really any harsh edges. And you don't have to be really precise about this. All you're going to do is blend that in. Some people like to start with the lighter and work to the dark. I do that sometimes. It just kind of depends on the mood I'm in or the design that I'm doing. But this one, because I wanted the centers to be a little bit darker, I just started with the dark one. And then I'm blending this in. And we're just going around to all the flowers. And you could even use the bold tip on this one if you wanted to. But that didn't take very long at all, and we have some lovely color to this. I have my light granny apple green, and I am just going to add a little bit to my leaves. It doesn't have to be very precise again. All we're doing is adding a splash of color. And then I'm gonna turn this upside down, or upside down to the other side, and I'm just going to add a little bit of green to my stems. And there. So now if we look at our card, it's only taken us a few minutes, and then we have stepped that up. Another thing you could do is you could add a piece of paper. So this is just a 1/4 inch smaller, so this is a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of paper. And you could mount this here and add that. So just adding that one extra layer makes it look even fancier. To take that a step further, you could emboss that panel. So you could use one of your embossing folders, and then you could layer that up. If you didn't want to emboss it, you could add a piece of paper, and you could give it all kinds of looks that way. So I think I'm going to go with my embossed panel. So I am going to adhere this onto my card. So you might want to add just a little bit more glue than you would normally because of the texture of this. You still don't want the glue oozing out. And we're just going to put that here. The glue gives you a little bit of wiggle room, and give that a good press. Now here we're going to add some dimensionals. Dimensionals are always a very simple way to step things up. And they're very easy to do, they're economical, but they're gonna make your card stand out. So we're gonna peel off our backings. And then I'm gonna just put, whoops, not upside down. We're gonna put that over to the side and press that down. And then we are going to add our greeting. So I'm going to put one dimensional on this end. Make sure it's not sticking out. And then I'm going to put a little bit of glue on this end because this one is already raised up. So we want this to ride flush. So I think I'm going to have that right about there. It does help if you take the backing off. But the glue is giving me the wiggle room. Okay, so that looks beautiful. Now, you can go one step further by adding embellishments. So I have some of our pearls, and I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool. And I'm simply going to pick up a pearl and put that there. Put one here. I think I'll go with a little bit smaller one there and there. So we have a beautiful card that we've stepped it up in a couple of different ways. It didn't take us very long at all. And you can give this card to anybody and impress them with your stamping skills. I hope that you enjoyed this. Details of this will be on my blog, which is here, thepowerofacard.blogspot.com. I would appreciate any orders, and I would also appreciate if you like my video, share my video, and subscribe. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.